Medusa, the newest member of the Absolute A-Force team. She might have some of the biggest damage numbers we've ever seen in Marvel Strike Force history. To really understand what's going on and what she's contributing, we need to go ahead and take a look at the stats. As far as overall power goes, she's coming in at number 19. Health, 20th place. Damage is 10. So we're looking at the same as Lady Deathstrike and Ares. Those are actually some good damage dealers in the game. Armor, top 10. Focus, 40th. Resist, 36. And speed, 80th. She's tied with like Old Man Logan and Nimrod. So she's going to be going a little late in the flow, which is kind of what you want. But as we look at the numbers here, right, nothing really stands out. We don't see anything that's overwhelming. But we got to remember there's two types of characters in this game. There are characters that are based on stats, and there are characters that are based on their abilities. She has some abilities that will literally knock your socks off. To get a feel for what's going on, we want to make sure that we understand the abilities. So we're going to look at them all individually before we get into the gameplay, because they really contribute to the overall picture. This is her basic. It's split ends. We're going to attack a primary target for damage and repeat this once so you can drill through some death proofs with that. If you have to attack an ally, you're going to deal less damage to Absolute A-Force characters. So she's subject to a mind control attack. She's going to do less damage to people who are on the Absolute A-Force. In addition, we know that that's going to be good for Battle World. Battle World is on pause at the moment, but it might be interesting to see what she can do in that game mode. Now notice on the left, her critical chance is 10%, critical damage 30%, which is the same as most characters. However, she's going to be using this a lot. She's going to be doing a lot of critical hits. So it's important to understand that this is her base amount so we can see how it will affect the rest of her abilities. Her special attack is Bob and Weave. She's going to do 600% piercing damage with this, and she has a 60% chance for this to crit. We got an additional 10 right off the bat, right? So that's 70% of the time. If you don't do anything else, you could change the ISO to increase that, but 70% of the time, this is going to be a critical strike. And if Black Bolt, or if she has 3 other Absolute A-Force allies, we got 60% additional crit damage. So with her base of 30, that's 190% crit damage following through on this attack. And if she knocks you out with this, the character cannot be revived. Well, why are you laughing, Medusa? What's so funny? Well, because the attack ignores defense up, cannot be blocked, cannot be dodged. In other words, you are taking this damage, you are taking this hit, and this can be a doozy. Her ultimate ability, Conditioned for Battle. We have similar wording. Attack the primary and adjacent targets for 400% piercing, 60% crit chance. You can also add an additional 20% damage per positive and negative effect on the primary target. So you hit somebody who's loaded up with status effects, you can kiss them cats goodbye. If Black Bolt is an ally, or if you got 3 other Absolute A-Force allies, this attack will gain 60% crit damage. People eliminated by this cannot be revived. And once again, Medusa's laughing because this ignores defense up, and it cannot be blocked. It cannot be dodged. You will be taking this damage. So far, her kit has been very, very simple. It's very clear. It's designed to do one thing: hit you in the mouth. Let's add a little spice to that. Her passive ability is Inhuman's Queen. Enemies cannot spawn with evade or death proof. In war, enemies cannot spawn with defense up or speed up. Protector and blaster enemies cannot spawn with charge. Protector enemies cannot spawn with safeguard. Let's give you a little taste of what's actually going to happen. Kestrel, she cannot spawn with the charge. You could go in with a minion team, so there's nothing she can do about it. You can make it so Gambit doesn't spawn with the charge. You can make it so Nova doesn't spawn with the charge. Without that, his resistance goes way down. He can be controlled and knocked out. Captain Britain, when he spawns in with the Illuminati, he gives himself and all of them defense up. In this case, that will not happen. Mephisto, you could come in with Apocalypse or another mythic character. Mephisto would get a charge to protect himself. In this case, that will not happen. Black Knight will spawn in with no charge. Again, you can control him and remove him from the game. In war, you will lower damage for all enemies by 20%. So that's all incoming damage reduced flat off the board by 20% when going against the Absolute A-Force team when Medusa's on the board. Now keep in mind, that's in addition to Miss Marvel Classic already removing 25% damage off the top. So when you're hitting her, when you're hitting Miss Marvel Classic, she's erasing 45% damage from even reaching her. That's going to make this team very difficult to damage, very difficult to control. Her presence will make the opponents easier to control, lowering resistance by 80% for all enemies. She's going to get 10% speed. Absolute A-Force also gets 10% speed. Let's look at some in-game footage from the test server. We're looking for these giant numbers. We're going to go in here first against Mephisto, Ares. We got Hive Mind as the backbone. All my characters are 5 red, 5 yellow. So we're going to go right in after Mephisto. We got Kahori. She hits for 1.7, 1.2 million. All right, so that's Kahori's at 1.7, 1.2. Now we got Medusa. Boom, that's 2 million. No crit. That's 2 million. It wasn't crit, so that wasn't impressive. So 2 million is the damage cap that we are trying to beat when it comes to Medusa. So we'll be keeping an eye out. We see we got Mephisto on the ropes, even though we're not getting the critical strikes. My Medusa is a striker, right? If you made her a raider, you probably guarantee, I shouldn't say you guarantee critical hits. I believe we're in the 95th percentile if you were to make her a raider. Kahori erases Mephisto from the board. Now we really just got Ares. We'll keep the match rolling here. We might not watch the whole thing. We just want to see these big damage numbers. We take hits there and we don't go into the red, so we're still moving, right? From that damage reduction, we're still moving. All right, here's Medusa. Ultimate attack. We got to go after Void Knight because of the taunt. Let's see what we get here. So this was the one where you get the extra if we get that crit with the status effects. Big hit, 3.6 million. And we saw the death proofs proc, meaning those guys should be gone. Their health pool was wiped out. The death proofs kept them alive. We got the striker attacks that removed the rest of the death proofs. And now we're definitely in control. We can pretty much kiss this one goodbye. This is good game. Absolute A-Force. We'll skip ahead to the next matchup. We're going to go against Astral. This is before the changes took place, so I don't know if we can recreate this now. 3.6 is our number to beat damage-wise. We're going to go all in here on Doctor Strange. So if we knock somebody out, they can't be revived. But I mean, I guess if Medusa knocks them out, they can't be revived anyway. So here we go. Special move. We're trying to beat 3.6 with her special attack, Bob and Weave. Here we go. Maybe. Here we go. 3.6 is our goal. Bang. 5.2. 5.2 million damage. Right? 5.2. Now, what does that mean? Any character that is not a new stat character, any character that is not a new stat character up to and including Super Skrull, that is a KO. Their health is not that high. Any character that does not have the new stats up to and including the Super Skrull, that 5 million range, that's the top of their hit point pool. So she will erase, she gets that, she erases any character in this game that does not have the new stats right there, and those individuals cannot be revived. So we're doing good. It's 5-on-3. Again, I don't know how this will work with the new adjustments to the Astral team. So I did this testing before the new adjustments took place. I have to do some more testing to see if they're a valuable counter for them. Well, let's try this one. Condition for battle. The ultimate, we'll try again. 5.2 was our last goal. Let's see what we can do. We'll just go straight up the middle here. They got evades. They got defense up. But remember, none of that stuff matters. She goes right through all that. The blocks, the deflects, the evades. Right through all that. Here we go. What do we got? Bang. 2.4. No critical strike. So again, we have a striker. If we had a raider, we definitely would have got the critical attack. We don't have it with striker. So that's going to be all her moves. We got this under control. Let's go ahead and look at the next matchup. So we'll go ahead with this one here. Orcus Super Skrull. See if we can get that big number, give him the one shot. All right, loading in. Orcus can be a problem in war. So again, if the person is not enhanced in some way, right? We're talking about health pool that is not enhanced in some way. You're going to get some enhancement in Alliance War. But without that, I mean, she's erasing people. She's a war character, so it's just going to happen in war anyway. We just want you to be aware of the parameters that we're using. Almost her turn. We're almost up to bat. We're doing pretty good. They're holding on. Wasp, she continues to take these hits, but the rest of the team is nice and healthy. Kahori goes around. All right, Medusa's up, I think. She should be full. We're getting close. All right, it's finally Medusa's turn. We're going to go after Scientist Supreme here. Special move, Bob and Weave. So we're trying to beat, what was it, 5.2. 5.2 is the number to beat. Let's see what we got. Swing, batter, batter, swing. Boom! 7-8. 7-8. There are only 3 characters in this game. Null, Mephisto, and Odin, whose health pool is higher than 7-8. So if it's not those guys, she's blanking anybody else in this game if she pulls off a hit like that. And you can't be revived, right? Again, she's making sure you're taking these hits. She's making sure it can't be evaded, can't be blocked, and it's going straight through defense up. Great character. Her kit isn't really lengthy, right? It's not wordy. It's just designed to do one thing, and that is do damage. So this fight is in hand, but we're going to hold on because we're going to try to get one more hit. We're going to try to get one more hit. We got Super Skrull in stealth, so we can't reach him. But we do have the ultimate, which can hit primary and adjacents. This is the one that gives you the extra for the status effects. The Sentinel doesn't have any status effects, but let's see what we can do. If we can get the critical hit. Bang, come on. 5-7, 5-7. Did you see that? 5-7. He's gone. That erased the Super Skrull. His health pool is not that high. He's out of there. This team is good. And so since I was feeling myself, we decided to go after this. This is an Annihilators with the Super Skrull, Mephisto, and Ares. Okay? Now I could have brought Apocalypse. Mephisto would not have got the charge because Medusa would have stopped that from happening. So I could have brought an epic character, but I said, let me just go with the straight absolute A-Force. That was a 3.4, by the way. Let me just go with the straight absolute A-Force. And at this point, I think I have converted my Medusa to a Raider. I think there were some adjustments that happened with the playtest server. So I did this fight a little bit later. There were some adjustments that happened to the playtest server. So I believe my characters are 7-7, right? So now we're at 7-7. All these characters are 7-7. Okay. I couldn't go back because they already made the adjustments. As you've seen, we could take those hits by the Super Skrull. We lost the Wasp. So it's 4 versus 5. The ladies are holding on. We got the ultimate, so we can do a fan attack. We'll go right here with Ares. Got some 4. I saw 4 million in there. I don't know if Meph has any death proofs. About to find out. He does not. He is gone. So now it's 4 on 4. 4 on 4. I do not want to trigger Thanos. Okay, I don't want to hit Thanos. So there's definitely some RNG with this. I'm not saying you take this fight. You take this fight, it's guaranteed. We played this numerous times. I think this was my 5th attempt. You don't want to trigger endgame Thanos. Right, let him do his move. He dodges and he doesn't clear our stuff. If we whittle his health down, then he clears our goodies and we're open to attack. Gladiator's already hurting, so we'll just knock him out. 4 on 3. 4 on 3. Ares. We can take him out. We won't push Endgame Thanos. We already have seen what we can do to the Super Skrull. We're definitely not worried about him. 4 on 2. Basic attack doesn't do, right? The crits don't proc. The crits don't proc on the basic attack. She doesn't have a, that's kind of the, I don't want to say the weakness, but that's the balance. There's no big crit on the basic attack. 4 on 3. We're definitely in control. That's what we didn't want to do, but since it's just Thanos, we can handle it now. We don't have to worry about the rest of the team hitting us because we're weak. Bang, 5.6. You guys tell me. You guys tell me. Is this character one of the best out there? Is she the hardest hitter in the game? I really want to know. I want to know your ideas. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your opinions. I'm really looking forward to using this team. Are you going to be buying or spending power cores for Medusa? Do you have the rest of the absolute A-Force team? She only works if you can't touch her. And Miss Marvel Classic is what allows that to happen. She's the one who keeps the shields up. So if you haven't already watched this video, check it out, man. It's legit.